Good morning, everybody. First, this.
The only lesson for whole life. Whole life have a balance.
Whole life have balance. There's few things that, I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, but I've read a lot. I'm a bit of a reader. There's few bits of advice that trump Mr. Miyagi. I'm so sorry. Oh, hi, Andrea. Oh, grasshopper. Is that cultural appropriation now? I'm sorry, man. I'm so crappy with the woke culture stuff. I don't get it. I'm worried about my friend Jeff. He's taken to day drinking. I'm joking, but he sent me a weird video. Let's see here. Let's get everything. If you're watching this, just bear with me a second. I swear to God, because even though you might be watching this at a Thursday night in 2021, this was recorded live. And now my brother, and I'm always looking over here. I'm responding to comments because we're live, and my brother says Taco Tuesday. So yeah, Taco Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday, and this is everything. Everything in Stronger Yoga is big and bold, just like my tacos. So there's a very good reason why I want you to have a pillow. Okay, it's not really a taco. I know that the camera adds 10 pounds to a taco, but this is actually a pillow, and I do want you to have a pillow today. And there's a very specific reason for it, because this is a balance class and we're going to mess with your balance a little bit. So make sure that you have a towel if you maybe for sweating. Obviously a yoga mat's helpful. If you're in your living room and you don't fall over on the coffee table, you'll probably be okay. A block is always handy. And just in case, I grabbed a batarang. Okay, so it's better to have a batarang and not need it than to need a batarang and not have it. So sorry, I'm scattered today. Let's see. But without further ado, let's do some yoga. Okay, so Karen says, when's lunch? Karen, we're social distancing, Karen, even though that it just breaks my heart to be socially distant from you and from all of you wonderful people. Now, I also grabbed this. I want you guys, if you want to really improve your yoga, let me tell you a top secret. For only the people that are watching this video, this is top secret, okay? But this little cushion pad that a lot of people use like in their kitchen in front of the sink, so that if they're washing dishes, it sort of relieves the pressure. It's sort of gushy, right? Now, if you go to any fitness place, or you go to Amazon or wherever you go to buy your equipment, and you buy a specific trainer for your calves and your feet to develop better balance, it's going to set you back like 60 to $100 for a little pad. Okay, now here's a giant one, and I got this at Costco for $16.99. So this is a top secret thing that you guys should have as far as your yoga practice. And there's lots of variations, and I'm sure you could get one at Target. But it literally has about an inch of cushion on it. We're going to use that today. And also, let's talk about love. Taco about love. This is my taco pillow. I love it. You can't have it. But it's also really gushy. It's got all these little tiny micro beads in it that'll throw off your balance. Okay? So having said that, just please make sure that you have a pillow or something gushy that you can step onto to make your ankles and your calves, specifically your outer calves, work a little bit harder today. Are you ready to practice? I am. Step to the center of your mat. Lift your left leg into the air. And when you hold your left leg into the air, a couple of things happen. One, we lean back. So already we're trying to compensate by leaning, putting weight behind our right foot to accommodate something in front of our left. Now, when you go heart up and booty back, now suddenly you're using more of your hip flexor and less of your back. That's a really good thing. Now, all I want you to do here that's different than a typical warm-up pattern is extend your left leg back and bend your right knee and lift your right heel for a moment. And this is on relatively flat ground, right? Or maybe you're on carpet and the carpet has a little bit of a cushion on it. And then go ahead and release. Bring your leg back in front of you. Lift the shin. I'm holding it at the knee and at the foot. And then release. Let's do the other side. Just stand on your left foot and lift your right. Now, while we're trying to just get a little bit more activation properly out of this, the right hip, we're mindful that we're not leaning back. We're also working on the standing leg. The fact that you haven't fallen over yet, or maybe you've put your hand on a wall or grabbed a table or a chair, right? But as much as you can, you're trying to rely on nothing but the muscles in your left leg, right? Now extend your foot back and lean forward, bend your left knee, and then lift your left heel. You can take your arms out, and your arms function very much like a pole that a man walking across a wire would use, right? You can just shift your weight. That's not cheating. And then bring your leg back in front of you. Grab a hold of your shin and lift away from the floor. See, this is how I get you guys to shut up on the comments. Start making it real. That's how I know somebody's they're not practicing. Nobody's leaving me a comment now. Because if you can do this and you're an idiot. Plant your foot, step your feet nice and wide, and slide your hips side to side. Can't do it wrong. A note about my pants, okay? The astute observer is going to think, this guy has worn the same pants the last 3 days. These are all recorded live. No. I happen to have 5 pairs of these. So, haha, I don't. Now turn your feet to the right. Give me a quick triangle. Unlock your right knee. Lift your right toes up, and then put them down on the floor. You're going to engage a lot of the right muscles that we want for our balance today. We're definitely going to talk about your big toe and your big toe joint. Rise up, turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out, tilt that pelvis, lift your left toes up, put them down. I don't have 5 pairs of the same pants. Lift your toes, put them down. I teach yoga. I'm freaking poor. I don't even have 5 pair of underwear. Lift your toes, put them down. But I do a lot of laundry, so don't worry about that. Rise up, turn your left foot in, and place your hands on the floor. And again, bend your knees for just a moment, slide your hips side to side. It feels good to just be moving the body. I'm sorry if I say this so damn much, but movement is medicine. All right. Bring your hips to center. Slide your hands to the edge of the mat behind your heels and plant your palms flat. And I just want you to feel 2 hands, 2 feet on the floor, and they're both pushing down, making contact with the earth. All right, everybody. Walk your hands to your left foot. Step your left foot to the back of your mat and hands on the top of your mat. Come into a plank position and lower your chest to the floor. I'm going to move my taco out of the way here. And then lift your chest using only your back. That means you could take your hands off the floor, but don't, because if you take your hands off the floor, you're going to add the weight of your arms to your back. So your palms are just sort of lying on the floor. Lower your chest, and now pull your groin off the floor. And you can do that with your knees down, by the way. Push and press. Crouching cat or downward facing dog. Take a moment to turn each heel in a couple of times. So going from the ball and shifting, you're tilting your pelvis or rotating your pelvis left and right and turning the heels right and left. But once you turn, take that foot off of the floor that's on the inside and push into the pinky toe of the foot you're standing on. Plant the other foot and switch. Turn your heels the other direction, whatever that is for you. And whichever foot's on the bottom, just take it off the floor and push into the pinky toe of the foot you're standing on. Plant your right foot, press your heart back, down dog or crouching cat. We're going to go right into a salutation pattern because we want to spend more of our time picking on our stabilizers today. Press your heart back towards your feet, a little bend in the knees. Sorry if that's loud, my mouse right on the microphone. Lift your right leg up and step through. Reach both hands up. Anjaneyasana. When you take your hands off of the floor, we always push into the front of the right foot. So once you got your hands in the air, try to put a little bit more pressure in your right heel and simultaneously try to lift the back heel higher and then hold your mat down with your feet. Don't just stand. Don't just stand on your mat. Push your feet down and make better contact. Imagine that it's not your mat under you, it's mud. You're trying to get your feet deeper in the mud, all right? Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, plant your hands. Going through a very simple salutation. In fact, the most simple one there is. Touch your chest to the floor, push up, press back, lift your left leg. Step to the top, and reach both hands up. And really pay attention to that wobbly feeling of your feet this far apart and you taking your hands off the floor, okay? If you're a relatively new practitioner and this is what's happening, you're just going side to side, that's normal. And it's normal because our feet are normally underneath us, or if they step out from under us or behind us, it's not for very long. Your feet are in a lunge, so your feet are far apart and your feet aren't under you, not either one of them. So make better contact with the floor. Take a deep breath. Plant your hands. Step back. Touch your chest to the mat. Push up and press back. Lift your right leg. Exhale, step forward. Reach up, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back. Touch your chest to the floor. Push and press. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step through. Reach both hands up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back. Touch your chest to the floor. Push. Press. Right leg lifts. Exhale, step. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, plant the hands. Draw the foot back. Touch your chest to the floor. Push and press. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Reach both hands up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back. Chest to the floor. Push. Press. Right leg lifts. One more set. Exhale, step. Reach both hands high. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back. Chest to the mat. Push. And press, left leg lifts. Exhale, step through. Last one. Reach up, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. Last one, chest to the floor. Push, press, lower the knees. Sit to the heels, hands on your thighs, and catch your breath. And that's balance too, right? Sometimes we want to move quickly on our mat, get the heart rate up, work fast twitch muscle fibers. Sometimes we want to go slow and burn like a candle melting down. Couple more deep breaths. Let's begin. Plant the hands at the top. Lift the knees and push your heart back to your feet. Lift your right leg into the air and step through. Reach both hands up. Anjane. Lift the left heel high. Lunge into the right knee, but pull the right hip back. We want the hip bones as best as we can facing the top edge of the space. Slide your thumbs over your ears. Hold your elbows close to your face. And lift your elbows up and look up. You're looking at the ceiling, but I want you to focus on your feet. Proprioception is when you're focusing on a part of your body, especially one you can't see, and you're aware of what it's doing. Breathe slow. Lift the back heel and straighten the back leg. Dig the left foot into the earth the way you would dig a shovel into the ground. Bring your hands to your chest and lean forward. Take your left elbow to the inside of your knee, not on it or across it. Take your left elbow to the inside of your knee and try to push your right knee to the right with your elbow and try to push your left elbow back to the left with your right knee. Untwist and plant your hands. Right leg straightens as much as you can. You can bend left knee or leave it straight. But what I want you to do is take your right thumb and place it in your hip crease, like you are preventing somebody from sliding their hand into the front pocket of your jeans. So you put your hand there and push back. Now, I'm going to switch cameras. If you could see your screen, when I push the hip back, my foot wants to roll out to the pinky edge. So I'm going to push down into the big toe and lift the pinky toe. And I can also place left hand on the inside of the calf and push the calf into the hand. Not the hand into the calf. Your hand is just floating in space. You're trying to push your calf into your hand, and you're training yourself to use your outer calf muscle to put more weight on the inside of your foot. The chest goes forward. Release. Plant the hands. Step back. Lie down on your belly. America's favorite, slide your hands forward, guys. This is cross core. Now your right leg was just pinned under you, so we want to lift it into the air behind us to counter the muscles. So push into your right hand, lift your right leg, push into your left knee, and lift your left hand. Take a deep breath and lower your limbs. Slide your hands back. Tighten your belly. Push and press. Spread your fingers wide. Press your heart towards your feet. Lift your left leg up. Exhale, step forward. Turn to your right and rise up. Whew. Turn your right foot out. Come into warrior two. Flip your palms over. Now we're more stable in a warrior stance than we are in a lunge stance because our feet are turned away from each other 90 degrees. Close your eyes if you haven't. Turn your palms up. Pull your groin back and lift your heart. And feel your feet. Feel your feet in contact with the ground underneath you. Our feet take us everywhere we want to go. They're always confined to shoes. I hope you'll take the opportunity to love on your feet a little bit more. Take them out to dinner, show them a good time. Straighten your right leg, open your eyes, reach over your right foot, and lower your right hand to the inside of your calf. Very specifically to the inside of the calf, okay? Just like when you were in a lunge and you had your left hand on your right calf. When we've turned the hips open, right hand is in the same spot. And your calf is doing the same thing. It's pushing into the back of your hand. So try to put your right big toe down, lift your right pinky toe up, and you'll feel that shift from the outside of your foot to the inside of your foot. Outer calf moving in is helping us train this whole kinetic system of outer foot, inner calf, outer hip, glute, and into the back. Now let's take the left hand up. Because right now we're simply doing poses on two legs that we're going to do on one. Bend the right knee, reach your right hand to the ceiling, and let's go into a reverse. Lower left shoulder. Right hand reaches back, right knee lunges. Breath is steady and smooth. Slowly cartwheel your hands to your right foot and step back. Crouching cat, spread your fingers, press your heart towards your feet. Lift your left leg up. Step through. Rise up into a lunge. Now we're facing the other direction, but hopefully when we twist, you'll always be looking at your screen when you need to the most. Reach your hands up into the air. And if you were watching, I was really wobbly coming up there. And it's normal. So what we want to do is find balance, like Mr. Miyagi said. Slide your hands to the side of your head. Hold your head, keep your elbows close to your nose, and look up at the ceiling. And now focus on your right foot. Even though you're looking at the ceiling, in your mind, you're seeing your right foot. Lift the right heel high and press the right inner ankle in just slightly. So you feel more pressure on the ball. Now push the ball of your foot down like a shovel going into loose soil. Hold your mat down with your left heel too. The ball of your right foot and your left heel. Bring your hands to your chest and lean forward. Take the elbow to the inside of your knee. So what we're doing is we're constantly working these inner and outer muscles of the leg that form, in many ways, something of a girder system. Like I said, outer foot, inner calf, outer hip, groin. It's this kinetic chain that's always working to the inside and outside of the leg. Keep turning, keep pressing, elbow against the inside of the knee. Release. Reach down for the floor and straighten your left leg as much as you can. Okay? This might be your straight left leg, and mine ain't doing really much better. Okay? Really tight on this side. And I'm going to take left hand. If you can take a hand off of the floor, remember, you can keep both hands down. If you're already challenged to not fall over, there's no point in going further. You're already there. This is all we're doing, is trying to train our muscles. Push into your left foot. If you can take your right hand off the floor, place it on the inner calf. Push the hip back and push your calf into your hand. Notice that when you push your calf into your right hand, your left hip wants to come forward. And when you push it back with your left hand, the weight wants to roll to the outside. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too. The hip back and the calf in. And release. Plant your hands, step back, and lie down on your chest for cross core. And slide the hands forward. Push down into the palms. Now push down hard into your left hand. Push into left hand and right knee and take left foot off of the floor. Then right hand. Now we do this almost every class because this is an important skill that the human body should have, of being able to work shoulder to hip on the one side, shoulder to opposite hip, go ahead and release, and then shoulder to opposite glute on the back side, only the opposite. Slide your hands back and push and press back. You can sit to your heels. So that's a lot to unpack, but an example is on one side of your body, the front side, I might be going from right shoulder to left hip. But on my back, I'm doing the opposite. I'm going from left shoulder to right glute. So that if you could see my body in translucence and draw those lines, it would form a cross. That's what we're trying to do, is get this really strong structure of the shoulder girdle and the hip girdle, and they can rotate independently of each other, right? If it's your cake, why can't you eat it? Andrea? Okay. Now, everybody, come back into that crouching cat, please, and step right foot forward, turn left, stand up into a star so you're facing the long edge of your space. The people that watch this live are troublemakers. Turn your left toes out and bend your knee. Reach your hands away from your heart, flip your palms over, and close your eyes. Now, this is one of my favorite moments in yoga. It really is. If I'm practicing, there's rarely a day, and I'm always practicing, but sometimes I'm just doing a warm-up salutation movement pattern, because the whole life has to have balance, right? So sometimes my practice is 2 hours, sometimes it's 20 minutes, and some days my body needs to rest. But when I'm in this pose, I'm just feeling all of the muscles that shift and change and fire and shut off from my knees to my feet, feeling the sway. Release. Come into a triangle. It really is a spiritual experience for me of being amazed by my body, by being mindful of the mundane that's actually miraculous. Place the back of your hand on the inside of your calf. Reach up with your right hand. But what I want you to focus on is your left leg and putting more of your leg's pressure on the back of your hand. While you're doing that, you can squeeze your right glute a little bit more. That'll help you pull the right hip back. But we're breathing, and we're training a series of muscles on the outside of the left leg, the left calf. In some books they're called peroneus, in some books they're called fibularis, but they're outer calf muscles. Their job is to stabilize your foot as it goes across ground. Think about rocky terrain and your foot catching you from rolling your ankle. Those are those muscles. Release and come into reverse. Lower the right shoulder. Keep your eyes and chest facing forward. Don't turn them up. Cartwheel your hands to your left foot. And step back, pressing your heart back to your feet. So as I said, you can go ahead and lower your knees and sit to your heels. We've gone through a really basic but functional set of yoga poses and tried to focus specifically on balance, doing things on two legs, and now we're going to try to do all of those things just on one leg, all right? Come back into crouching cat or down dog. Lift your right leg up and step forward. Reach both hands up. So what we want to think about in our lunge is the right leg putting more pressure on the inside of the right foot. You can do that in two ways, and they can happen simultaneously. Less pressure of your right pinky toe on the floor and more pressure in your big toe. So we're going to go to the front cam so you can see my right foot specifically if you are just watching to learn. And now I'm going to reach forward. Hands reaching over the top edge of the mat. Lift the left leg up, float it up. Go ahead and place your hands on your hips for a second. And I want you to notice if there's any tendency in your body to want to lift the left hip and turn the body left. So lift your left inner thigh up and push your right thigh back away from the top of your mat. More pressure on the ball of your foot. You can bend your right knee if you want. You can bring your heart a little bit closer to your knee, because what I want you to do is the scariest thing of all. With your head in front of you, lift your right heel up. Release. Step back, lower the left knee. Pull the hips back. And just take a breath and a stretch. We want those muscles to awaken and fire, and we want to stop short of fatiguing them, but that's going to be different in everybody's body. But we're going to do that one more time, and we're going to employ that principle of pressing outer calf in to the hand. So when you did that last balance, you might have had your hands on the floor, block, a chair, anything, right? Maybe you need to do that again. But if you can, we're going to come into balancing on the right foot, come forward, right foot flat, lift left leg. Knee can be bent or straight, not really concerned about that. But if you can take a hand off of the floor, place it on the inside of your calf and push your calf against your hand. And if you can take that right hand off the floor, place it on your outer hip. This is the pose we did earlier. We just had our left foot on the floor. Push your calf into your hand and push your thigh back. And if you can, lift your right heel. Release. Step back, lower the left knee, and pull the hips back. Push through the right heel. Come forward, plant the hands, and step right foot behind left leg. And just turn and open. Push into your right foot. And release. Step your left foot forward and turn to the right, rise up, back into the star position or sort of a transition. The way these classes tend to work well, live, facing the camera always. So we're going to turn the right foot out, and now we're going to try to do the same thing with open hips. First we did neutral hips, now with open. So you can place your hand on the floor in front of your foot. You can grab a yoga block if you have one. You can grab your chair. If there's a chair nearby, you can grab the edge of it, all right? But come onto your right foot. Turn the hips open, turn the chest open. And if you can, either slide the block to the inside of your foot and try to press your ankle against the block. If you can let go of the block, place the back of your hand on the inside of your calf. This really should have been the very first class I taught, because balance is so key to being able to operate the body in yoga in a way that does phenomenally more good than either no good at all or can be challenging to the body. I'm really not saying that very well because I'm trying not to fall over. But if you're still with me and pushing your calf against your hand, go ahead and release. And this time we're going to sit to the left heel and bring the heart rate down, bring the breath rate down. But that works the glute quite a bit. The glute's a stabilizer. But the outer calves are the ones that give us that good responsiveness to put pressure on the inside of the foot to prevent it from rolling and twisting the ankle. But even short of twisting the ankle, so often when we're practicing yoga and we fall out of a pose, it's because we're just not aware of the muscles that should fire to stabilize us. Balance is learnable. At the end of the day, we need to understand that. And we're going to release and plant the hands at the right foot and step the left foot back. Press the heart back to the feet. And let's get ready to do the left leg. Lift the left leg up, step it through, and lift the right leg up. And you can take your hands off the floor maybe. And we're basically in Warrior 3. You could reach your hands forward if you want to work your back more. You can place your hands on your hips if you don't. Your right leg could be bent or straight. But remember, we are trying to lift the right inner thigh to keep the hip bones facing the floor. not turning to the wall to the right. And when you pull that right inner thigh up, make sure you're also pushing your left hip back with your left hand. Get your left armpit away from your left hip. And if you wish, lower that chest a little bit more and try to lift the right heel. Excuse me, left heel. And release. Plant the hands, step back, lower the knee. Pull the hips back and take the pressure off that left hip flexor. Lift up tall and proud. Get your breath. So this type of a class can throw people that are looking for traditional poses and looking for traditional stretches, because what we're doing is targeting specific strength in the body. And when you're doing that, you're telling your bones and your joints and your nerves where they belong, because muscle moves bone. And muscle also holds bone in place. That's its job, to keep us a functional and sound biotensegrity, which is a living version of that little thing right there. It's the perfect balance of compression and tension. Let's come forward. We're going to do everything again. You can grab your block and hold it. You can grab a chair. We're simply going to balance on the left leg. And even if you need the support of a chair, a block, or something, you can still focus on the idea of trying to take some of the pressure off the outside edge of your left foot and put it on the inside edge. This time, place your left hand on your left hip, right hand on your calf, if you can place them there, and push your left hip back and push your left calf in. And if you want, if that feels pretty stable, if it feels like you'd lift the heel and the pressure would be on your big toe and big toe joint, go for that. Release, step back. Oh my goodness. Woo. Now we've got to pull this left hip back into extension. It's just crying for it, right? So plant your hands and step your left foot behind your right leg. And then just put pressure in your left foot. Whether your knee is bent or straight, just push the foot down. Release. Lift the knees, step the right foot forward, turn to the left, back to star pose. Rise up and turn the left foot out. Now we're simply going to try to balance on the left leg with the hips open. You can tilt your pelvis, or you could bend your knee and reach up. But what I don't want you to do is push and kick off of this back foot. Don't use momentum to get you into balance and then try to slow that momentum down, okay? There's a time for that, but what I want you to feel is the creation of balance based upon mindful decision-making in our movements. Push the calf against the hand. Hold on to something if you need to. But even if you're holding on to something, you're trying to put more pressure on your left big toe. If there was a playing card under your left foot at the toes, you'd be trying to, see, even I fall out. You'd be trying to hold that card down. Turn the hips open. The more you turn your hips open, the more that weight wants to go to the outside of your left foot. You got to keep pushing the calf in. Release mindfully. Step the right foot back. Whoa. Woo. Bend the right knee. And sit to the right heel. Catch your breath. Let everything soften. those muscles that we're training to be responsive also create a lot of tension. And it's not cold, it's not freezing, but think about butter that you put into the freezer, right? It causes a reaction. And then you take the butter out and you place it on the table in the sun and it softens. So now we're butter in the sun, by the way. That's my metaphor. Come to center and rise up. We are earning our tacos, Kelly said. Okay, now you can grab your pillow, your squishy thing, and you can place it on your mat or not, okay? But now we're going to really, really work those muscles one time. Hopefully we prime them to function well and be responsive, but not be reactive and give us herky-jerky movement, okay? So all I want you to do to start is stand on your 2 feet. Maybe you're standing on a pillow, but stand if you can on something squishy. You could always grab the cushion of the couch. Maybe if it comes off of the couch onto the floor, grab that and stand on that. But sit up straight and close your eyes. Feel your feet. Now shift your weight to your right foot. If you can, keep your eyes closed and lift your left foot. This is going to be super hard because I'm standing on my kitchen thing. And there's a reason why we're standing on something squishy. Because you're putting your muscles at a disadvantage. Go ahead and open your eyes. But you know what often happens with people who are disadvantaged? They get over it and they become amazing and they rise above it, right? That's all we're trying to do with our legs right now. And I'm not diminishing anybody's challenge. Don't think that. Close your eyes and lift your right foot. Whoa! I'm going a little crazy over here on my end. How are things working out with you? But oftentimes, we have to be willing to let go enough to let our body move around. And go ahead and open your eyes if you haven't. That's balance. Balance is not a concrete statue, right? Balance is a shifting. Balance is movement, right? So if you were standing on something squishy and that was really hard, as it was for me, step off of it onto the most solid ground you have underneath you. So if you can even hear me, walk into the kitchen or wherever there's hardwood or at least not even carpet with padding, okay? Something solid. And lift your left foot and close your eyes. And that's so much more stable because we gave our leg a disadvantage trying to balance with our eyes closed on something squishy. Release. Plant your left foot. Close your eyes. Lift your right foot. Now, these things that we're doing right now are simple things that a vestibular doctor would do to do an assessment. It's called a BESS test, B-E-S-S. Eyes closed, foot off the floor. You go ahead and plant that foot and open your eyes. And you probably had substantially better results, even if they weren't perfect, than when you were standing on something squishy. So we stood on something squishy and we closed our eyes. That puts our body at a tremendous disadvantage to understand our environment. You close the eyes, you lose your ability to perceive horizontal lines in front of you, right? You really want to mess with yourself? You can, even if you're on something squishy or solid, is close your eyes, stand on one leg, and move your head. Shake it no and shake it yes. Then you're messing with the little accelerometer system in your ears. So this is a lot of complex stuff, but I wanted you to feel something squishy under your feet that would cause you to be unstable, because that's going to train all these muscles in your leg to work together, because they're constantly transferring load above and below the knee to the inside, to the outside of the foot, the calf. And giving our body that challenge is much more efficient and rewarding than simply doing calf raises, okay? This is just a simple isolated movement. And even if your feet don't roll out when you do that, again, you're teaching yourself to do one thing. You teach yourself to do one thing really well, it can't do a whole host of other things really well. So I hope I haven't beaten that point to death with you guys. So let's see if any of this paid off. And let's just do a balancing pose and see how we do. So place left ankle on right thigh, point your big toe, squat down, hands at your heart. Now, if this is challenging for you, through the course of this hour or close to an hour, how long it's been, we've trained ourselves for balance. Balance is learnable. And that means that if you weren't stable here before, standing on one leg, you might be. You might try to close your eyes here in this pose and see if that works for you. Another challenge, always try to lift that heel. Lift the heel, close your eyes. Yeah, your results will probably be like mine. You'll fall out pretty quickly. But that's what we're trying to do, is sharpen that samurai sword. Let's switch legs. Right foot on left ankle. Hands at the heart, stick out your butt. Lift your heart up. And another thing that might challenge your balance is when there's a bunch of windows outside, cars going by, and a dog that's basically shitting right in front of my window right now. And you better pick that up, lady. I'll namaste your ass. Lift that left heel. Close your eyes. Yeah, that ends pretty quickly. But keep working on it. Think of your balance as a samurai sword. Think of yourself as a samurai. And just keep sharpening that blade. That's what our yoga practice is. Now we've got to stretch out quite a bit of muscles that have worked very hard for us. Should we do another balance pose? Somebody give me a clue here. Are we done? Are we fatigued? Do you want some more? It's Taco Tuesday. That has nothing to do with anything, but in this moment, this live moment, it's a democracy. So nobody's chiming in really fast, because hopefully you're all just like in awe of like, man, I learned some serious shit right there. Andrea says, Kelly says yes, which is an interesting thing to say. All right, let's try a tree. That's a great example of balance, right? Place your foot on your inner thigh. This is that Zen moment in class, in a segregated class, where you do a bunch of back bends, and then you do a bunch of this, and then you do some standing poses. And not knocking it, all yoga is good. It can be more efficient and smarter. Now, your tree can look anything you want it to. If you're standing on one leg, here's what I want you to think about. Don't think about your foot as the roots of the tree. Think about your waist as where the earth is. And the hips down are the roots. That's everything that's stabilizing the structure above the belly button. And grow your tree, and if you want, just dig those roots down and lift the heel. And that tree is going to sway a little bit. And it's a different set of muscles if your knee is bent or straight in the back of the calf. You get more soleus when the knee is bent. Let's switch legs. Place your right foot on your left leg. So an important note about that is, if you can't get your foot above your knee, You can place it down here on the calf. And just about every yoga instructor is going to tell you keep the pressure off the knee. That's kind of a lot of bunk, okay? Now your knee is a hinge joint, but your knee has condyles. It creates a little bit of movement here. And I don't think anybody's so strong unless you have a real compromised knee why they couldn't put their foot there. In other words, get your right foot off of the floor. Reach your hands away from your heart. Grow your tree. And if you want, push that thigh into your foot or your calf into your foot, wherever your foot is. Push your left leg into it and lift the left heel. Whoa. Let's do one more, right? Right? Kelly wants one more. Andrea would tell us so, right? So grab your left foot, grab the outside. See, I've got the outside of my left foot with my left hand. And then, if you can, grab the inside of your foot with your right hand. Don't kick, please. We're going to stay upright. I want you to pull your heel to your butt cheeks like a hot dog going in a bun, all right? Think of it as that. Slide that sucker in there. Bend your right knee a little bit and lift your right heel. Trust me, you'll let go of that left foot if you need to. I don't think anybody's about to just hold on to their foot and fall over, right? Release. Switch sides. Grab your right foot with your right hand and bring your foot over and see if you can't get it with your left hand. Remember our rules these last few days. You can always grab a towel. If your hands can't grab it, you can lasso it with a towel. Slide your heel of your foot into those cheeks and then lift the left heel. Because we could do 1,000 different things in this pose, right? But all roads today lead to stability, to working all these muscles from the bottom of the feet up into the hips. Go ahead and step back. Lower your knees to the floor and sit to your heels for a moment. Walk your hands backwards and lift your butt off of your heels. If this is challenging on your ankles or knees, you can grab one of those towels, a pillow, a kitchen pad thingy, whatever you got. Release. Place your hands in front of you, cross your ankles, take a seat, plant your right foot, and I want you to love on that right calf, okay? Just squeeze it, squish it around. I mean, just get in there and rub those inner and outer ankles. Take a moment to massage the bottom of your foot. And if you got somebody at home that'll rub your feet and your legs, do that. But while they're doing that, don't just moan and eat ice cream. Be aware of this and pay attention to this and love on this. This is your body. And this is what takes all the damage while we're out there doing that shit that we think is so important. Go ahead and switch your legs and love on this left leg. Take a moment to feel these muscles on the outside. When these muscles start popping out of your legs, you're sprain ankle proof or really close to it because these muscles are more responsive to flatten the foot when you're out there trail running or going for the rebound playing basketball. Love on that foot. Who's going to love on that foot when you're in quarantine? Maybe only you. But we're always thinking about what's in front of us, right? We're always focused on that. And we deserve, especially in our yoga practice, this is the one place that it should happen. Rub the bottom of those feet. These are the tires, right, on your car. And you got to notice when the wear pattern is wrong. And when you got to rotate the tires, when you need to inflate the tires, pay attention to your feet, and I'll shut up, okay? Now slide your feet. Man, did you see Scott's video? He's really weird about his feet. Walk your hands forward. Let your head hang. Slide your hands back, lift your heart. Take your right leg. What we're really doing when we step this foot to the right is we're rotating this right femur the other way. So right femur is now rotating medial, and you can just walk your hands to the left. Push your right knee down firmly against your mat. Release. And switch both legs. Walk your hands to the right. Push into your left knee. Walk your hands all the way around. We're going to pivot, feet to the top of your mat, butt at the center. Lie down on your back. Place your hands on the floor next to your hips. As you inhale, press your feet into the floor, lift your butt, reach your hands up and back. As you exhale, lower your hips and your hands back to where they were. Inhale, lift your butt, reach your hands up and back until the back of your hands and your fingernails come to the floor. Exhale, bring your hips and your hands back down. One more time. Lift your butt, reach up and back, thumbs above your head. Leave your hands where they are. Keep your butt in the air and bring your knees together. And then try to push your knees forward by trying to drag your heels back. And then lower your butt. Lower both knees to your left. Now from a reclined position, our legs are in that same position. Try to press your right knee down. Left hand to left knee. Right hand reaches up and slides away from the right knee. Relax and release. Lift the knees. Lower both knees to your right. Right hand to the right inner knee. Left hand reaches above the head, back of the hand and fingernails sliding along the floor. And we try to press left knee down onto the floor. Left hand tries to slide away from the knee. Release. Lift the knees. Plant your hands next to your hips. Lift your feet. And turn your ankles clockwise and counterclockwise. You can bend the knees a little bit. Just get all weird and loose. Or think of your feet as painting in the air. Reach your hands up. Ball your hands in a fist. And then make circles with your wrists. And you're still moving your feet and you're moving your wrist around. And if you really want to have fun, you just go goo goo gaga goo goo. Goo goo, change me. Bring your knees in your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Let out a fart, who knows? And then plant your feet. Rest your knees against each other. Let your hands fall out. Or straighten your legs and lie in a traditional shavasana, or Grab your hamstrings, cross your ankles, and rock yourself up into a seated position now. But wherever you are, wherever you're ending, close your eyes and breathe through your nose. Relax your jaw. I want to thank you for watching and practicing yoga and taking care of yourself. And thank you for our financial supporters on Patreon and through the Cash App. And if you don't have the means to financially support these live yoga classes, you could always help me out just by liking, sharing these videos, and leaving a comment. Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody. Have a beautiful day.